to provide. All right. Test. Get the audio going. How are you guys? Sorry we're starting late, but we'll get going. Let me just go ahead and kick this to the stream. That's looking good. Chat's up. We are not dropping frames. We're doing good. How are you guys? What's up, RJ? What's up, Cybro? Nexus in the house. Let me see. Sean, Slip. What's up, dudes? Let me get the audio going. Let's test. Alright, that's just enough. Into my ears too. Welcome to the Weekly Well Watch. We're starting a little late tonight. Sorry, we had pizza night with the fam. We had one of our neighborhood, my daughter's best friend over, and had to make pizzas tonight while wifey was at parent-teacher conference night with the kids, so it was all good. No injuries, and somehow in the middle of us making pizzas, the kids came in the kitchen with a snapping turtle set up with an aquarium on a roller chair. But that's another story. Hope you guys are doing well. Yeah, let's go and get started. Per the usual, this stream is intended to be used for educational purposes only. It's not intended to be used as financial advice. And even if you were to mistake it for financial advice, it's clearly an art show. But yeah, check us out if you want to know anything about why the charts look at it, or about any of our users, or anything about it. Rainbow theory in general, quantitative stuff, whales, any of that stuff. Go check us out on the website, rainbowtrends.com. And big news for you guys, not really news for you guys, but I have been working my tail off on updating the Wikipedia. And then once the Wikipedia is done, I'm going to start updating the website so it references a lot more of this stuff. But I'm down to the last 2 tutorials, so I'm very excited. Round of applause. These things take forever to write, but it's each one's got a video tutorial. You can click which one, all the different stuff here. It's all on the website too. You just click tutorials, and I'm gonna go back to these and probably add some backtesting stuff too, because I'm getting a lot of DMs about backtesting stuff from like people that are wanting to try it out. But I'm almost done with the machine learning bands, and I got to do the Bitcoin candles, and then I'll start updating the main website. So looking really forward to that. It's man, documentation is a pain. It takes so many hours. But anyway, moving on. But yeah, definitely check these out. If you guys want like the best question answerers here, hit me, shoot us a DM or talk in the Discord, but definitely go check out these. I've got like all this stuff set up now. So there's been a big gap for a while, so I apologize. It just takes a long time. But shout out to Gitbook. It's been an amazing product. It's real cheap, and I can just basically host a Wikipedia page, and it's all clean and nice, and I can instantly update it. And it's like building a website like in like Microsoft Word kind of. It's really crazy. A lot of stuff. A lot of people recommended all these different websites, and I tried them all out. And then one that nobody recommended was Gitbook, and I tried them out, and I really liked it. So anyway, if you're curious what that is, it's gitbook.com. So where are we at? Well, we got a lot to cover today. This week was really weird, needless to say. Indies saw my comeback. But if you can, smash the like, hit retweet, smash like on Twitter or YouTube. It's all good. Helps us out with the algorithms, but let's get going. So I have a very, very, very big announcement. It's been known for a while that a certain individual has been out of jail for quite a bit of time, and he's been shockingly quiet. A lot quieter than normal. Not something that we expected. But BitBoy is back. And his first post was this week. And it's just amazing to see him back. Not something I expected. But he made it out of jail before SBF. So if you're not in the know, you don't have your alerts on, you're nuts. But it's been a while, dude, and he's back. It was kind of crazy because he's been out of jail for quite a few weeks, and I was like, man, he's been out of jail for 2 or 3 weeks now, and he hasn't said a thing. That's odd, real odd. So anyway, he's back on Twitter, so we're gonna see where this goes. Wish him the best of luck. Hope he stays out of jail. Good luck with the lawyer fees. But speaking of BitBoy, let's move on to some other new crypto guys who've been in the spotlight, right? One of them is Yeezy. So the Yeezy token launched, and shocker, it free fell, and it's been going on for a while. All this stuff online, people posting about it, people getting pissed that all these insiders made money. Shocker, shocker. I'm never bullish on any of this type of stuff. But apparently, like, Yeezy came out, like, days later. Not next day. Not 2 days later. It was like 3 or 4 days later, he came out and says, oh, man, my Instagram's hacked. Damn, that wasn't me. And it's kind of crazy. I'm surprised Elon hasn't said anything, because remember when the SEC got hacked and somebody announced the Bitcoin ETF stuff was approved? Yeah, about that. He hadn't said anything on this one, so maybe he really did get hacked. I doubt it, but who knows. But yeah, that's Yeezy came out and says Yeezy money is not real. Even though now that I think about it, it's kind of interesting because the Kanye website for footwear was accepting Yeezy coin, I believe. Oh, I don't know. Well, that's interesting. But anyway, Hayden Davis apparently sniped $12 million. And some people can somehow actually track this back to the Melania tokens, the Libra sniper, and all this other stuff. Shout out to you dudes who actually have the time to go through all this. Oh boy, we'll see. But anyway, moving on. I mean, name a coin like this that's done well over time. I'll wait. You let me know in the chat, but it's I haven't heard anything, and it looks like the chat just died. So let me test. We didn't drop streams. It looks like it's OBS. Let me see. Hold on. Are we good? Can you guys... I can see the YouTube test. RJ... Yep, test. Can you guys see this screen? Up. Is it back? Test. Yes. Okay, it reconnected. That was weird because sometimes I have to reset OBS, and if I was about to have to reset OBS midstream, that was going to be nuts. What's up, Pantalga? Thank you guys for typing in the chat. Now you got to ask yourself, was I doing that to game the statistics so you guys would up the chat rate? No, I'm kidding. But let's take a look at Easy Token. It's very, very not good. People. I'll tell you this. Every time you feel FOMO to launch it into something like this, just oh, I'm gonna throw $1,000. I'm gonna throw $10,000 at this. Just do yourself a favor. At least throw half of it and just put it at spot Bitcoin and forget about it, and then go mess with the other stuff. The amount of stuff I've like FOMO'd and thrown money at just randomly, $500 here, $1,000 there, crap that's gone 90% down. It'd have been really, really nice if I had just bought Bitcoin at the time. So maybe that's a good advice thing there is when you're listening to an art stream. Yeah, just be careful. This stuff is awful. It's designed to be dumped. Everything's designed to be dumped. I mean, God forbid, maybe there is some utility in Yeezy token and it gives you discounts on Yeezy footwear. I don't know. I don't care. I don't wear any of that type of stuff. So anyway, moving on. Just be chill. Just be chill. Anyway, Luna 1.5, 15. Yeah, Luna 2.0. I mean, Luna had some tech behind it. It just got attacked by the whales. Whatever. Maybe this one got attacked by the whales, but just like, you're not going to be the insider ever. Just remember that. Speaking of personal tokens, Trump is apparently launching an ETF because we needed an ETF for Trump coin. I'm telling you, we needed it. Price action has never been better. This does look a lot like the Kanye chart, the Yeezy chart. Now, you'll say that, and you say, well, Runner, I don't have an argument for it. It does look the same. This stuff pumped so crazy before it got on exchanges, went all the way up to like $70, which is just mental Now it's actually trading in a range. I don't know. Maybe it needs an ETF. If you want an actual example of the machine learning running bands, now that we're speaking about it, and maybe or maybe not, because I've been doing the machine learning bands tutorial this week. There's a good example of those bands learning right there and boop, kicking it up. So we'll see. Oddly enough, most altcoins, when they get an ETF announcement, get a pump. It's shockingly absent here. So maybe you know what? Maybe we need a Yeezy ETF. That actually sounds pretty good. We need that one. We need a Yeezy ETF, obviously. They just, whatever. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? But anyway, speaking of Trump coin, the World Liberty Financial Token is actually going to be coming out, and let me tell you, this one's probably going to get dumped too. There's a lot of people that I think it was, I think the buy-in price was like 10 cents. It's already pre-market trading $5, so people are going to just be dumping this, and I think it's, don't quote me on this, but it's like partial unlocks coming up. I think beginning of September, maybe September 1st. Go look it up. I'm not messing with any of that stuff, but keep an eye on it, because you're going to see another thing. And if you want to go study how whales dump liquidity, you're about to see it right there. So stay on top of it. Speaking of that as well, since we're going to go from Trump coin to World Liberty Financial, we're going to go back. Trump has announced that the American people may receive a dividend paid via the tariff revenue. So we've come full circle of not paying down the debt. And apparently we're going to be giving out tariff revenues as checks to households, I think is what they're looking at. Maybe we'll get it in the form of Trump tokens. I don't know. I digress. I can't take this stuff seriously. But Lutnick did come in and say it's not socialism, it's capitalism. So I'm, oh, hell. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of these tariffs, and if the tariffs turn into handouts, I don't know. I'm not, maybe we end up just killing the dollar and the debt goes to infinity. Maybe that's what they're like, we're just setting up to do, and we're gonna use Trump ETF coins as the backing of the currency. I don't know. Whatever. So moving on to some more serious topics. Unfortunate or fortunate, just depending on how you look at it, crypto paradigm is no longer endorsing rainbow trends. I got quite upset that he was only using salt on his steaks instead of pepper as well. It's salt and pepper in my opinion, always is. So I added him to my list of low testosterone traders. He did not like that. So speaking of our beloved, or formerly beloved friend Dime, let's take a look at the Bowden chart. This is another one. Looks a lot like the Yeezy token. Somehow this is still being traded on Kraken, albeit, I don't know about you guys. I see the alerts all the time for Coinbase like delisting stuff. I don't know if I've really seen Kraken delist a lot of stuff. I don't know. But this thing, man, maybe you can arb this. I don't know if there's the volume here, but you might be able to arbitrage trade this with these crazy wicks, but there's not a lot of liquidity. I will tell you this though, if I'm not bullish on the Biden meme token. I'm not. Some people were. It did a great run, went to crazy high heights. This is insane. This was what? Good Lord. 50 cents at one point. Now it's 0.2 of a cent. That's ridiculous. Either way, you can see clearly with this chart with all this jumbled mess on it. It's not good, but we'll move on. Maybe Dime's Bowden token's not the next thing. Let's check silver. Let's move on to silver. Now, one thing I will note is there's been a lot of somewhat unusual activity in the gold and silver sector. So I am going to actually start paying attention to this more than not. And what you see me doing here, I'm going to be disabling the well prints. The reason being the volume data and all that is really goofy for silver and gold. So it glitches these charts sometimes just because the data is somewhat there in TradingView, but somewhat not. But I digress. Let's take a look at it. So I do want to look at it. I deleted my 3 days, damn it. Anyway. Silver, the token that is slower than Litecoin. Actually in an uptrend. That's actually interesting. But if we're talking silver, we got to take a look at gold. I usually look at these on 3 day, and I freaking deleted my 3 day. I'm so pissed. Add custom interval. If you want to know how to add custom intervals, up here. Shout out TradingView. Here's our tutorial. Days, 3, add. Now I have it here. Boop. I accidentally hit delete right before the stream. And like I said, whale prints are goofing up on 3 days. It's not me. It's just the data. That sounds convenient, right? I'm not the problem. It's the back end that's not related to me. But yeah, gold's infinite bid up only 3,400, like all-time highs. So is S&P 500. It's getting kind of interesting. Dollar and everything else, we'll see. Maybe we're going sky high. Maybe we're going to the moon. Speaking of moon missions, and I'm super pissed because I almost got to witness this one. Well, just hit the wrong thing. Give me a second. The beauties and joys of running a G9 ultra wide. TV stream. All right, we're back. Sorry, clicked the wrong thing. So, speaking of, you guys know I got the Starlink. I've been playing with it, been setting it up, and I found out my generator blips it off and on, and I'm going to have to be doing some off-road camper upgrades. But check this out. They landed in the Indian Ocean one of the recent rockets, and they actually filmed it, and it's freaking crazy. And apparently they set up a bathtub with Starlink and just had it sitting here right where it landed. That's sick. I'm surprised the camera's working. As loud as those things are, I'm absolutely shocked. And I don't know if my Starlink would work that shaky, but isn't that cool? It's so cool. He says it was a bathtub. That is a bathtub, but that is like a... That looks like a little actual Zodiac. Damn, that thing is cooked. That's cool, though. Anyway, I almost got to see one of those launches. We were heading down to Elon's territory in, I think this weekend. I think we're heading out. Yeah. And they delayed their launch, one of the SpaceX launches, and we were going to be there. I was like, oh man, they may delay it long enough. But let's check it out. Let's check it out. Let's check out Tesla. All right. So, as you guys know, this is the greatest trade ever, right? Not really, but we did really well on this one. We rode this until it popped, and then it went back up. And then it's been going sideways, and I've just been waiting to play this again. This was the one that we spent weeks on watching. We got the entry, we got the exit, now we're looking at this. And shout out to Elon. All this other drama that's going on. Still launching rockets. Originally, guys, I saw this drop. This is, and it hit the midline, but it was still dead center in the reversion bands, and I hate playing there, because especially Tesla has a habit of coming down to the bottom here. But it bounced, which would have been nice. And it's just been going sideways, and I thought it was wedging at one point. I was like, okay, this is kind of forming. I was watching this for a while to see if we get a reaction. And we kind of did, but not really. It wasn't enough for me to get excited about, and it just went sideways, and now it's kind of grinding up, and it's still kind of just in this middle range. I'm going to wait till something happens before. There's a lot of other better stuff to look at right now. So I'm still watching UNH. This one has not reverted back yet. Warren Buffett actually bought this as well, so I'm still waiting for this to take off, but I think this week, don't quote me, I don't have the news article available, but at one point, I think this week, they said there's another investigation related to United Healthcare that's going to mess with it, but this is a really long-term hold because this is a crazy, crazy entry. Why is it a crazy entry? Look at this. This is 2020. 5 years of uptrend gone in a matter of days, weeks, whatever. So, definitely looking to see this one bounce. We're going to hit it hard. Go from there. Still also waiting for the GME one. I wasn't going to planning on talking about this today, but GME is another one that I'm watching. This one's just been crazy since what's-his-name has been in it, and they're also now stacking Bitcoin, which is getting crazy, but as you'll notice, this thing tends to go bottom to top to bottom to top, and we got another bottom here, so we're trying to ride it out. It's going oddly sideways, though, for that big of a white print. I was kind of shocked. Yeah, Cybro's right. GME has low testosterone. I'm going to add that to the Dime group chat. Stacks thought we were seriously fighting, so I'm sorry, Stacks, you had to witness that. The whole time we're sitting there talking trash on Twitter, we're sitting there sending each other funny cat videos and in the DMs. Anyway, moving on. So that's what I'm kind of watching out. These are kind of the more volatile stock market stuff that I'm watching. Speaking of, I don't think I have this stage later. The S&P 500 hit another all-time high. All-time high today. So we'll see what I do. I went back and was checking some of the 401k stuff, and it's absolutely mental. I think I DCA'd in here. I think that's around where I got it. No, I'm sorry. It was around here. Let me see if I can actually move that. Well, let me move that. Yay! It was right around. It's a freaking cat ball. It was right around here. I actually got pretty heavy, some cash that I've had sidelined for quite a long time, and I wish I'd have gone more, but I was backstopping myself in case we kept staircasing down and I was going to martingale it. So I got part of the martingale deployed, but I was looking at it today. Short period of time, it was way up. So very excited about that. But moving on, because you guys aren't here to watch S&P 500, right? You guys want to see the volatile shit. We're talking volatile. Guys, don't ever do this. So crypto enthusiast C. Buffy claims to have lost $2.5 million while hedging 10% of their XPL allocation with a 1x short on Hyperliquid. And lo and behold, on Hyperliquid, it flash pumped 3x from 60 cents to $1.80 and liquidated him instantly, and he lost a lot of money, saying good game. I will tell you this. Whales do everything to know where you're vulnerable and know where your positions are. Why on earth you would ever post up this type of stuff and have your position publicly seen on Hype, let alone tweeting about it, is absolutely ridiculous, because now they know who actually got liquidated here. Don't do this type of stuff. As cool as Hype is, it really is, you're vulnerable as hell. I've been through it before where you think you're good with 99% of your armor on, and that 1% chance will never happen. I hate to disagree with you. It can and will happen, and you can lose a lot of money. Been there, done that, cried. So, checking it out. On the normal exchanges, remember this went to 1.8. On the normal exchanges, this is the XPL perpetual contract on BitGet. None of that action's here. So they literally just did it on one exchange and went whoop bam and killed him. So have fun with that. Sorry, I'm really tired right now. Been a long week. But with that being said, this looks like the old Zora chart is absolutely pumping post that liquidation event. Maybe, I don't know the first thing about XPL. You guys let me know in the chat if you're even heard of this. I haven't, but this is pretty crazy numbers. 44%, just, what is this, August 28th? Yeah, in a day. A single day, it's up like 40%. Speaking of Zora, speaking of Stacks, let's take a look at it. Albeit Stacks isn't all over this one, but his buddy Pep is. So let's take a look. Because Pep was on a damn near villain arc on this. Holy shit. Wow, it's actually doing white candles right now. That's crazy. Absolutely mental. Maybe this is a buy. Albeit, Jesse from Coinbase was tweeting about this pretty heavy, and I'm pretty averse to anything Jesse's bullish on as a default. That's insane. But for the longest time, what's his name? Pep was just riding this, and it was just above the reversion bands. And I was like, dude, this is mental. It's just surfing up here, pink candles above the sign, and finally it came back down, went for another pump, couldn't get it. Now it's rolling over. This is, how bad is this? 46. That's a lot. Albeit it's touching the reversion bands, but if we turn log on, log even makes it worse looking. That's crazy. Man, we haven't hit these reversion bands since June. Since basically it launched and took off. Man, I wonder how far that'll go. It's going to 0, Nexus. Nexus is bearish on this. Mind you, Nexus is saying he's not willing to get into Bitcoin until it's above 200K. So I have some concerns for my bros. Since this is dying, let's take a look at Fartcoin. I did not plan this. Yeah, Fartcoin's way down there too. Surprise. That actually looks really bad. Sorry, Dip Wheeler. This reminds me of the Bitcoin 65K top. It really does. Not that there's fractals for Fartcoin liquidity, but ugh. HMA nailed it though. That's what that line is that converts over to the red and green. Cybro 0. You're very vocal about it, sir. Dip Wheeler's always mad. If you're gonna trade meme coins, you gotta be a little salty, right? Speaking of salty, thank you for this perfect transition, Cybro. Have you guys seen this? Oh man. So Seth Strickland, if you guys don't know, got banned from like the UFC fighting commission and all the different fighting commission whatever organizations because he stormed on stage during one of the amateur matches. I forgot what it was for, but he got a hell of a suspension. And to reduce the suspension, he's been forced to I don't know if it's by courts, but it's at least by the fighting organization to go coach women's MMA. So these awesome ladies are just hamming it up to make Strickland look miserable. And I just love it. MMA females are badass, so I always have a special place in my heart for them. But it's I just loved this, and he's wearing an American as fuck onesie of all things. So he's one of the craziest fighters. If you've ever seen him, he literally just, I don't know how to explain this. Hold on, let me find it. Hold on, stand by. Seth Strickland. Is it Seth Strickland or what's his name? Strickland? No, it's not Seth. Strickland. Sean Strickland. My bad. Sean Strickland. Carly Poe. iCarly. He literally earned a championship title with an iCarly defense. And they were roasting him, but it's absolutely true. He goes at people just standing like that and just walks forward, and he can handle them. But he literally has like the iCarly pose and goes and wins championships that way. He was one of the best at one point. But he literally can go up and just hang with anybody right in their face. The fact that he was able to do that against Israel Adesanya is absolutely insane. But apparently what he does is he just spars all the time. He doesn't do the normal type of training. He just gets in the ring and spars with people nonstop. So it's actually one of the reasons. But anyway, moving on. We got to talk serious stuff, guys. We have to be serious. And I'm sorry I have to break this news to you now. But Say has gotten an ETF, boys. Finally, Parallel EVM is now getting an ETF, and I couldn't be more excited. And you're going to say, dude, Runner, did Say pump? No, it didn't. Out of all the other coins that pump during ETF announcements, Say did not. So I'm still, for ride or wrong, Say is my ride or die coin. Oh, yeah, sorry, I'm super tired. I'm only on coffee right now, no energy drink today, so bear with me. We're gonna get through this, but yeah, we'll see. Say ETF, you guys know the demand was there. The flows are gonna be phenomenal. I can't imagine how much people are gonna onboard and buy through this. So looking forward to it. And shout out to these bottom signals because they are nailing it. Regardless if you like the asset or not, they're hitting. So moving on a serious note, right? Serious note. So back deals are being made. Quite a few. And Trump Media Group news hit that they were going to buy $6.42 billion of the CRO token. It later came out and said the reports is inaccurate. The digital asset team will begin with 19% of Crow market cap in tokens and $200 million in cash, which was obtained by selling tokens at a 50% discount. Further purchases, blah, 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 blah. There's a lot of shenanigans going on in the background, but I will tell you this: while the ETF news is not getting the news pumps like you would expect, these back deals with the Trump administration for crypto are getting big time attention. How do we know? Look at Crow this week. Let me calm this chart down. Let me turn the liquidity levels off. Liquidity levels are a little hot for some people to look at, so we'll chill it out. This thing blew up fast. It teleported. And it's still kind of hanging. I'm actually kind of surprised how high it went. On the 4 hour, it didn't get to the cyan bands because 4 hours got more data, so the bands are up higher. But when you go to the lower time frames, it actually got up there and tagged the cyans. So we'll see. We got rainbow rotations, we got top signals RSI, but this is straight up news pumping like crazy. Absolutely insane. And when I say it's like news pump related, it really is. Like, that news broke on the market, and dude, volume went mental. Absolutely mental. And there's people that are trading this stuff on the news with bots. Unless you live at your computer and have everything ready to go, it's like virtually impossible to outrun this. But I say outrun it, front run it. There's the news breaking. That's the 1 minute candles going straight pink. But look at this. So insiders knew over here. The rest of the market learned here, and the whales slammed it. It's really interesting. I go look at it at the lower time frame. Man, I'm going to go do some jumping jacks. Wake up. So I want to see this. This is 15 seconds because I pay for the ultra premium version of TradingView. I can see 1 second, but it takes forever to go look at. I think that's it. Double check. Hold on. Is that? Hold on. No, there it is. I just want to show you how fast these things are, because you guys don't realize like what you're up against. Like, people want to like manually trade 1 minute candles. I can't find it. I don't want to waste this much time. The point is you can't outrun these dudes unless you are automated to the T. And I know most of you guys are not. There it is. 30-second candle. Let's check that out. Isn't that cool? So mind you, that's a 33% move on a huge market cap. That's crazy. But look at the volume, dude. Like, nobody had a clue. Somebody had a clue and bought a bunch, and then it happened, and they probably made a ton of money because they sold into this. Mind you, this is all selling on the bottom here. But it's like a light switch. So the guys who can automate, they can get in, but even then, that's like 5 minutes of time, maybe more. So if you don't catch it like in literally the first 60 seconds, like, dude, the move can be mainly over. So anyway, moving on. So this hit the news block, and I didn't know what to make of it. Frankly, a lot of people didn't know what to make of it. Lutnick announced that he's going to be issuing GDP on the blockchain, and people at first were like, are you talking about the actual monetary part of the GDP? Or what is this? Apparently, they're going to be issuing market data on chain for some reason, like statistics. And it's just kind of weird. I know they argue that about job numbers and stuff getting revised, and maybe this is a backwards way of putting it on chain so it can't be edited. I don't really know, but this is just kind of weird, but maybe this is a top signal, and we'll come back and look at this in a few months. We're like, damn, Bitcoin was really topped out when Lutnick put everything on the GDP. But they finally came back later, and the news announced that the U.S. government is going to be posting the latest GDP numbers on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Trons, Stellar, Avalanche, Arbitrum, and Polygon. I don't know. I really can't figure this out. Why anybody would do this? Is it cool? I guess. Is it? I don't know. You tell me in the chat. Are you? No one's asking about this. None of my normie friends are asking about the GDP data being published on chain. Like I don't know. And this is really weird how they announced it and everything else. Let me know what you guys think, because it's just weird. But the odd thing too, though, is some of these tokens that they're going to be using for all this type of stuff absolutely pumped. So it's actually kind of interesting to see some of these coins react to it. So this is another one where they're saying the U.S. Department of Commerce partners with Link to bring government macroeconomic data on chain. Cool. I never really had an issue with pulling this stuff up on Google, but is what it is. But check it out, dudes. Litecoin, not Litecoin, Link. Probably need to add a link to this tool, to be honest with you. So market really liked the government participation in having Link do GDP numbers in the data. I don't know, dudes. It's weird, but mind you, RSI bottom and Runnerbot bottom right before that pump, so that's pretty cool. That's a 70% run right before, or right after those printed. So shout out to the bots. That's cool. Link's always been a strong one. I remember trading this way back in the day, and it always had crazy strength. So Link Marines are now going to be supporting the GDP. It is what it is. So moving on. Speaking of Link, Solana is another one that they're looking at, I think, for the GDP data. Now, Solana is one I've been wanting to really, really focus on. Why? It's abnormally strong, my guys. So Ansem's not right yet. We're not up to those levels. But this has been the really, really easy chart for me for a very long time. The amount of damage that CryptoZen and Manifestro have done on this damn thing is sick. They've been trading this nonstop for the past 12 months. And what's interesting is this macro resistance order block, which has held everything except those two blips. It's starting to break through these, and there were times today or this week where Bitcoin and Ethereum had some pullbacks, S&P as well, and Solana kept moving up, and that really, really caught my eye. So you'll notice that sometimes I get locked into a chart and I don't want to look at a lot of other stuff. My eyes are glued to the Solana chart right now, because if Solana breaks and holds this, now mind you, you can blip this and go all the way back down, back to this order block down here, go down to like 120, but if it breaks through, we're looking for a 263 target, right? And that's a hell of a run. But, you know, why am I super excited? Well, first off, that's 20+% gains we're going to make, right? First off, right? And that's assuming you got in super, super late, right? Because as you know, we don't buy low, sell high. We FOMO at the highs, right? We buy resistance. I'm kidding. But you can get a 20% run here. And I don't know about you, but I tend to remember alt seasons when Solana's running. And if Solana's running, it's like, you know, somewhat like an Ethereum alt season, and it just sits there and goes. So I'm really excited to see that, because we still got tomorrow before the weekend. Maybe this thing can run on the weekend. Frankly, the ETFs for Solana, I don't think are holding it down. I think Bitcoin movements and Ethereum movements are going to really be pegged to the weekdays because the ETF flows, not leaving anybody of those people gapped behind. But this one, I think, can move on a weekend. So maybe we'll get a Sol weekend this weekend. I don't know. But keep an eye on this one. Keep your alerts. It's not super hot. Let me check the Rainbow Trends Coinbase versus Binance Premium. Let's set this to Solana. That's interesting too. You can actually see them arguing right now. I say arguing. That's the whales fighting back and forth between Coinbase and Binance. It's crazy. Order executions until it's closed. But Coinbase Premium is there right now. And we tend to pump on the Coinbase Premiums on Bitcoin, so we'll see. We shall see. It's exciting times. Solana's been dead for a very, very long time. Hasn't done shit. And now it's trying to wake up because you guys need to remember Solana used to do stuff like this where it just went and went and went and went and just printed. And it's been ranging for a while, and I want to see it go back to hauling ass again. We want to see that. So if this is all reaccumulation and you guys want to be like, oh, it's Wyckoff reaccumulation, there's your creek jump, we're going to SOS and go, right? You heard it here first. So many people want to talk Wyckoff, but they don't want to talk Wyckoff reaccumulation ever until it's hindsight. Maybe this is your SOS. Maybe. We'll see. Moving on. NVIDIA. This is what everyone's cared about this week. They don't care about the S&P 500s at all-time highs. They don't care about all these other things. This has been the one they've cared about. And what happened? Price tanked. NVIDIA beat, and price tanked. Price tanked so bad. Hold on. Do I not have... Hold on. Yeah, price tanked so bad after hours. It was kind of interesting to watch. It's NVIDIA beat. Now we have to look at extended. This is real trading hours extended. Yeah. There's earnings. We're gonna go look at it on the slower time frame. Let me turn off liquidation levels. That was the earnings wick right there. And long story short, I'm not an NVIDIA nerd, but their concerns with the China AI sales is what blipped that. So it proceeded to knock off 5%. And frankly, it did this in minutes. We haven't seen NVIDIA show a 5% pullback in a very long time at that type of speed. So it was actually kind of like, oh shit, is this something that's to be concerned with? Go back to regular trading hours. We'll see. I don't think it is. I think NVIDIA is still going to keep trucking. This was clearly reaccumulation and it took off, but I will say this big trend that like you saw Mally trading the AMD on, there was a channel walk inside this green inside the reversion bands. Let me clean up the alert markers. Sorry, I've been doing the tutorial, so I've got the markers on. This channel walk has broken to the right, and that's normally a risk-off scenario for me just to wait and see what happens. Maybe it continues up and it channel shifts, but in general, big, juicy channel walk up, I walk away for a bit. So let's check AMD real quick. Yeah. So AMD was the one that Malifestor was trading, and I drew all this when we weren't in log. So let me adjust it because log matters. Big channel walk, broke free. Now we wait, and it also hit an order block here on AMD. So you risk off, you just kind of wait, sit on your hands. It's really boring as hell to sit on your hands, but that's the move when the channel walks break. Like I said, sometimes they make sometimes the channel shifts and it keeps going in the same angle of direction, but it shifts to the right and then goes again. Sometimes the algos lose and they have to get going again. Just part of it, but right now we haven't seen that. So anyway, side note, I don't know what to make of this, and I don't have a transition into this, but a fight actually broke out on the Mexican Senate, which is interesting because I talked about it last stream. The United States is actually going to be sending military forces to go battle the cartels in Mexico, which is going to be a cluster F. And a fight actually broke out in the Mexican Senate over this, accusing each other of asking, I think, the United States to actually assist with the fight against the cartels. So this is going to get really interesting because we also have United States Navy going off the coast of Venezuela. And the poor camera guy got knocked way down. But an actual fist fight in the Mexican Senate. Just crazy. So we'll see how this plays out. Anyway, moving on. So, this was really, really big news, and I think it was misinterpreted at first. But apparently CFTC is to soon issue clarification to allow United States users to trade on offshore crypto exchanges such as Binance. Maybe if you guys still have that P.O. box handy for Sam Bankman-Fried in jail, you might want to go send him a note that it's finally happening. Bahamian crypto exchanges might be a thing again. Now, I've heard it's actually not going to be leveraged products. It's just going to be access to spot trading. But I will tell you this. So help me God, if I get access to low-fee Binance accounts again, even on spot trading, I'm going to do some serious bot trading if that's the case. I'm very, very excited. But Carbon had the most hilarious thing, saying the entire nation of Palau might collapse over this news. So all the people that had the digital passports, no need for that anymore. If the CFTC lets us have access to real Binance and OKX and all that other stuff, it'll be pretty crazy. But yeah, here it is saying the headline is misleading. Press release doesn't say Binance. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna go bug my lawyer buddy about it soon and see. But in the event that actually does happen and we get access to the offshore Binance accounts again, it might actually hurt hype pretty damn bad. So it'll be something to see is if they actually come out and say you're going to get all that. I think the hype use case is maybe struggling a little bit and maybe worth watching. I like hype. I got a lot of rainbow traders who use the shit out of it. I think it's a cool product, personally. I don't use it, but I think it's cool. I've been watching it a lot and I've been looking at potentially integrating algos into it because I've got people requesting it. But if we get access to the offshore stuff again and we're not landlocked anymore, this is going to have to figure out how to address that. Same thing with Coinbase. We go look at the coin token. Not coin token. We go look at the Coinbase stock. Major pullback, albeit this predates the this pullback started before that news dropped. Sorry. But yeah, Coinbase was screaming all-time high. Now it's pulling back. I will say this though, shout out reversion bands. This stuff hits. From those reversion bands to those was 73% to the second push up. Dude, this is like 160%. So you have to learn how to DCA and buy pain and not buy all at once when these stuff start printing, but you need to wake up when you start seeing this stuff. Pay attention. Because you're about to see a bottom or it's going to zero. That's really what that's saying. Now remember, you remember FTT and Luna, it literally went to zero. But anyway, moving on. 60% of the time, it works every time. Big thing I've been watching and not working on, but paying attention to. I don't think we have that much time left if the halvings matter anymore. And then we have to have that argument. ETFs are here. Bitcoin's institutionalized. Halvings don't matter anymore. The volatility is just going to grind up. For a multi-generational bull market, it's not going to have 4-year, 2-year pullbacks, etc., right? I don't know. But it's something we have to pay attention to because we've got like less than 2 months roughly to peak out along with the other Bitcoin bull runs, which we haven't seen. So it will be interesting. Looking at the Bitcoin chart, we broke all-time highs. We then broke all-time highs again, and now we're back to retesting pivots. So things have calmed down. Is Runner scared? No, Runner's not worried at all. Why? Because Runner doesn't... I don't buy Bitcoin at all-time highs, so I just... 9 times out of 10, if you try to buy a breakout, it doesn't work. So anyway, we're still looking for resistance to play out here up at this target of like 140. If we legit take off, we're looking at hitting those reversion bands. It's like the first kind of slowing down and stopping point, and we're just not there yet. We can take a look at premiums real quick. The Bitcoin, that's set on there. The volume's not crazy. We're flipping back into Coinbase Premium, but so far, nothing crazy. But We're going to be retesting support. Hopefully, I say former resistance, now flipped, and hopefully it stays flip support. Get that nice kiss and go. That's what we want. We try to get this party started while we got like 2 months left. Speaking of 2 months left, my old Mayer multiple chart, which a lot of people like, timestamp whatever this part of the stream because it's not something I post up too often, but we're looking at the inauguration, the BTC halving. Those colors are so pretty on the daily, or the 3-day. Maybe that's the answer. Buy the first purple candle after on the 3-day, and that'll give you the top. It kind of works. Yeah. Boom. Boom. We'll see, but you see, the point is not the point. I'm just admiring the colors because it's really easy to just sell the rainbow rotations. We're printing no colors here. We're nowhere near the Mayer multiple. The minimum Mayer multiple of the 2.0 is like at 202,000 right now. They're starting to curve a little to the right a little bit, so we'll see because they're below the 200 simple moving average, I believe is the Mayer multiple. Don't quote me on that. Go back and look up the code for it, but we're still looking for this target here, and we're trying to wrap it up before November 15th. If the old halvings matter, we bull market before then, which is kind of crazy because if we're calling for a 2.0, we're talking about an 81% jump in Bitcoin current price action, which is sounds crazy. It sounds crazy, but then we've been through stuff like this, right? Where this is 255%, so maybe it's not. Maybe it's not. We've gapped it before multiple times, from the 1.0 up to the 2, up to at least to the 1.6 standard deviation. Go look up Mayer multiple. It's goated. It's great. Not a lot of people reference it or let alone use it for projections. That's why these tools look like this. Gives me an idea of where I think Bitcoin's going to go in a bull market. Definitely gives me some backstops on a 4-year cycle. If we look at stock to flow as well, you can see why I'm concerned about running out of time. Bright yellow tends to be like the last hurrah. Orange is kind of the earlier top, right? We're past orange. We're well past it, and we're starting to get into the yellow. So maybe things go absolutely mental in the next 2 months, and if they do, we need to start looking at we need to seriously be looking at taking profits. But shout out, thank you guys for all that are here, hanging out with us tonight. Sorry we started late, but if you can, give us a like, comment, not a subscription, like, comment, yeah, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Twitter. It's all good. Now, this was a fun chart. So I wanted to show you guys this. I'm not dunking on this dude, but I'm showing you guys how to not read Bollinger Bands. When you see Bollinger Bands, or frankly any other type of trading indicator, gap way down like that, it's a glitch. It's not necessarily a glitch. It's the data is pushing the tool past where it's designed to go, is the easiest way for me to say that. How do I say this? So there's stuff you can do that can handle certain ranges, but it can only go for so long before the code gets weird and it just starts blowing boundaries out. Bollinger Bands can't handle this properly without literally going to zero. These may go into negative numbers if you actually expanded this chart out past 1. I don't know. But the interesting thing is he's actually measuring Bollinger Band width. So you definitely shouldn't be measuring Bollinger Band width when it's glitching out. And maybe he can get away with showing Bollinger Band widths glitching during bull markets, because that seems to be the correlation that they glitch out during the parabolic runs, but that's like 2 years worth of data, maybe 18 months. And frankly, he's calling about them being the tightest, but definitely don't do that type of measurement when the tools are glitched, in my opinion. So yeah, Gentile's always lurking. Looking at Bitcoin hash rates are pumping. No one's talking about this either. I remember how many people used to beat their chests that like hash rates were hitting all-time high. Nobody talks about it anymore. It's actually really interesting. I say really interesting. It's of no. But since Nexus mentioned since we've looked at Tesla, we can look at Rivian. So, I think one day, maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, I think Gentile's going to be right. That's our buddy Gentile. This is wedging. This is a product that has a god-awful Yeezy style chart, but they actually have a really cool product and they have Amazon backing. So, what does that tell you? It tells you there's potential this thing is actually going to be one of those charts you look back at like Robinhood and it half pipes and goes. Not half piping, but you get the point. It'll look like a half pipe when we look at it from this way and we have to go to like log to actually chart this damn thing. We'll see. I've been watching the wedge on high time frames, but this thing has been downtrending for so long. It's not even funny. The one thing I will note, and to point out to you guys, the runner bot is really, really good at Rivian on dailies. So let me turn that stuff off. All I'm going to say, that is really, really good data. So watch, set alerts for the daily runner bot on Rivian. That's all I'm saying. But we'll see. This would be a great place to walk back up and out. So anyway, close that one, close that one. Moving to Ethereum. So the ETFs is really, really nuts. If you saw the PFP, we're going hard on Ethereum. And Tom Lee's trying to get like over 5% of the supply, which is just, it's billions of dollars to even try to do it. And so far he's at 1.4. So Ethereum's the second biggest crypto asset in the world, and it is, they're actually buying percentages of it. And it's not like he's going to be able to buy 50% of Ethereum, but he's going to put a dent into it. Eventually the all-time highs are just going to go, not all-time highs, but the all-time highs will print. If you keep buying the asset that much money and people don't dump on Tom Lee, it's numbers going to go up if you keep buying. Welcome to thank you for the subscription only part of the channel where we talk about buying, pushing pricing up, but keep this alpha secret, please. But these dudes can only stack so much cash for a while until it turns into like FTT, right? They could get to the point where they own way too much and can't offload it, and then they all go to jail, right? Shout out Caroline. Shout out Sam Tribeca who made it. But this dude, Tom Lee, doing his thing, he's increasing his end-of-year target for Ethereum to $12,000. That's what, 32? Hold on, let me bust out the calculator. Let me see. If we actually hit 12,000, that's damn near 400 grand per node. And if you could get like 0.03%, you get like 11 grand a year. You actually got 4, it'd be like 15. I don't know, guys. If I don't know if I can mentally hold Ethereum above $10,000, my profit numbers would be so damn insane. I would want to be switching to cash or switching to Bitcoin, spot Bitcoin. But whatever. I'm down to party if they are, but man, that's a long way to go on Ethereum. But if we're rooting for Rivian, we got to root for Ethereum. Go back and check the receipts. I'll say it again. Rainbow Theory traders were bullish in April and May. The rest of crypto Twitter got bullish in like July. So you want to proof in the pudding, go back and check our Discord, check our tweets. We caught the channel walk. Hellishness. Against all odds. And we've printed on Ethereum. The most hated asset until recently. Now it's loved by everyone, and Tom Lee's selling this to normies. So we'll see. I'm hearing like 100K Ethereum targets now, and sure, cool. Higher than XRP, so I'm happy. But long story short, this is what I had as the old all-time high, and we've hit it twice now, and then we've pulled back down. This is a lot like kind of the Bitcoin stuff. Again, Runner, are you worried? Is it over? I don't think so. I think you guys are just gonna have to hang out and ride this if you want to. If not, if at any point you listen to us in this range, especially when it was below like $2,000, you're way up in profit. And I will always say this, if you're printing all-time highs, that's a great time to take profit, at least in pieces. So, not that this is financial advice, but long story short, I think this is going to chop for a while and it's going to have to go into price discovery, but it's not going to go into price discovery unless we get like Solana and Bitcoin running, in my opinion. So, we'll see. Later, Sean. Much love. See you, dude. So we'll see. We're up. You shouldn't be exposed. You should just be watching profit numbers. You shouldn't be anywhere close to a liquidation or a going negative. I mean, I can't make this any simpler, but that's a bottom H4 print at like 3,600 and we're up 44 with top prints up here saying sell it like that much. I mean, that's... Hey. I know Rainbow Theory, this type of charts are not for a lot of people, and some people give it a shot, don't like it. Much appreciated for the dudes who do, but guys, this is... It's telling you to long there and sell there. That's a 32% spoon-fed trade. It is what it is. But I want to see this run. We're going into Q4 this year. Maybe we get this everything to align. We'll see. Now, speaking of Ethereum, I don't look at this chart a lot. I don't trade this a lot ever, to be honest. And frankly, the Koreans aren't touching this anymore either. Frankly, Koreans aren't DJing even more. But we've got the Korean over here with Tom Lee. Actually, I don't know if he's Korean. I've just heard people say that. I take that back. But he's definitely selling Ethereum. I'm wanting to see if Ethereum Classic wakes up. In the past, Ethereum Classics outran Ethereum percent-wise. Not number-wise, but I know that doesn't make sense. But it does smaller number moves, but percentage-wise, it's way higher. If Ethereum goes nuts, this eventually tries to catch it in some dumb reason, but so far, I haven't seen much, but it is paying attention to pivots, so keep that in mind. But moving on. So, another thing we're going to keep very, very big track of, and damn, we're 300 freaking watch. That's crazy. We had the talks with Putin, Trump and Putin up in Alaska, and war has only escalated. Terms have not been met. Shocker. Normally both sides want terms that are way too much for the other side to accept. Welcome to Politics 101. But Russia is actually hitting EU specific buildings in Kyiv. Putin not happy. We'll see. We'll see how far this is going to go. The harder he can hit these people during negotiations, the more he can ask for, right? So it's shitty, but I think we're maybe getting closer. The other part that I was talking about earlier is the warships. So we have the cartels going to be dealing with United States Marines. We'll see how that goes. I hate war, but it is what it is. I can't stop it. But the other one is they're actually setting up the warships off the coast of Venezuela and put a $50 million bounty on Maduro's head for Venezuela. This is going to get spicy real quick. I don't think it's an oil play, but it's something to pay attention to. Now, Venezuela used to be an oil titan, and then all the world's sanctions kind of kicked it off, and everything's kind of just rusted to pieces, and the old fields aren't going to come online anytime soon. Mind you, you want to drill an oil well offshore or somewhere, you're talking about 4 to 5 years before you see the first drop of oil. So it's not like you could just go into Venezuela and start turning the oil infrastructure back on. That's not how this stuff works. So maybe they can... I think it's more drug related, but we'll see. That's what they're claiming it is, but like I said, we'll see. But I've been starting to pay attention to the oil chart a little bit more, especially with... see how the data gets weird on the one. The data's okay on the 4 hour, but as soon as you go to the 1 daily, it all glitches out. And if you go look at like the split volume, it's broken. I don't know why TradingView does that. Go to 4 hour, it starts working again. I say working, but data looks weird. On this one day, it doesn't show any. On the 4 hour, it shows it. It's weird. Real weird. Anyway, I can't explain that. But TradingView, if you could look into that, it'd be sweet. We love your product. But I'm going to watch oil a little bit more. The other one, other people just, everyone's looking at is Quad U. Trump is actually speaking the right things in regards to nuclear power. It is the only thing that's got ass. That's not a carbon fuel in regards to power production. And it looks like we're going to be needing a lot more uranium because he realizes that this current administration realizes we need the infrastructure for the electric cars as well as the AI. AI needs a lot of kilowatts, and you need nuclear for that. Power plants in regards to wind and solar aren't really going to cut it. So especially the grid draws when you have people running electric cars, they charge them at night, and solar doesn't work at night. So anyway, but just double click the access. Okay. We'll do Nexus. But with that being said, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you guys all for coming out. We're going to go head to the Discord, so definitely go check out the Discord. The link's always here or in the very, very top of the website. If you guys can. Gentile, what's up, dude? Subscribe to the YouTube channel. We're almost to that 500 mark. We're going to try to get there. But we're going to go hit up the Discord. I'm going to open up the roundtable and go hang out with the rest of the dudes the rest of the night. And turn the cameras off. But you guys want to come show us your charts? By all means. Maybe you're bearish on Rivian. Come show it to us. We'll talk to you guys later, though. Until next time.